The reality is, when that final game comes to and goes, most aren't prepared to say goodbye to the game and take that next step. Most aren't able to transition and see the value though in what they have accomplished and how the skills they've acquired and the lessons they have learned can continue to pave the way to future to their success of what they learned in hockey. One thing I learned after 60 years in the game of hockey, I'll tell you folks, is the end means something different for everyone, no matter what level you reach, or how long you've played the game. You know what? I've seen kids with 2 years of junior experience in the OHL, ball their freaking eyes out and fall into a deep depression when the lights go out on their career. I've seen it. I've also seen 10-year pros with NHL experiences, shrug their shoulders and walk away and never look back. What I've learned is that everyone is different, and the end of the dream affects everyone in different ways. I've seen players, trust me, grind through a career, suffering horrific, life-changing injuries, lose families, trust me, fortunes, and their sense of self-worth through their journey. Well, the weight of the end hits everyone at every level differently. There are common themes and lessons that can be helped, lessen the blow, let's say, of the reality. Things that benefit everyone while dealing with major change in their life and the transition. You are not alone. The most important step, to climbing out of, let's say, a dark place is to reach out for support. That's number one. Trust me, you have to reach out for support. And there's nothing wrong with it. Too often, especially in hockey, a sport governed right by an unwritten code and represented by a certain image, right? Players will conceal their wounds, both physically and emotionally, and try to, let's say, tough it out. You know what? You don't want to show weakness, right? So it's better to suffer in silence or use other coping methods. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something very important. You don't want to go down that road. If you're suffering, reach out and get the support you need before it snowballs, right? Into something let's say you can't get out of. You're not the first athlete to admit they need help, and hopefully you will pave the way for others to feel safe to do so. Whatever level you reach in hockey, you will have learned some individual life skills and acquire a transferable skill set. You got to understand the value in your accomplishments that you've done over the years. You've learned a lot. One of the issues I had during my playing career was that I never recognized the value in what I was doing. It's mostly because players are coached and bred to never to be satisfied and always reach for something more. The biggest value that I was able to take away from my career was the relationship I built, all and the experiences that I had, both good and bad. I made lots of friends, and many of my good friends in life have come from the hockey world, and I'm still good friends with a lot of them today. Hockey also allowed me to travel the world and experience different cultures, right? You know what? All of these amazing positives dwarfed, the fact that I never made it to the National Hockey League. No, I didn't. I was, you know what? I played minor professional with Kalamazoo K Wings, right? Carolina, Nashville before they came the Predators for 3 years. I I always look to the positive value in anything. You know, you have to look for the positive value in anything you do to help you understand the purpose of what you do. Because I'll tell you why. You are somebody's hero. You are. I recently spoke to a mother, right, of a child with that have physical disability who spends her Saturdays during the winter in cold rinks, you know, watching single A Pee Wee hockey games. And they don't have to be irrelevant playing in the game because they weren't to this mother of the child. And one of the players is a classmate, yeah, of the child with a disability, right? Someone with a kind heart and a love for the game of hockey. For this child with a physical disability, this player was a hero. The player will likely never play beyond the age of 16 or 17, likely never reaching a level higher than rep hockey. When they do hang up the blades, they will see a smiling face in a small crowd in a cold rink on a Saturday. After hearing this story, it made me realize that no matter how far you go in in hockey or in life, there are always people out there counting on you, rooting for you, and really caring for you. You don't have to play in the National Hockey League to be someone's hero. And when you stop playing the game, it doesn't mean you stop being that hero. Take your time. And this always, you know, was my biggest problem, right? Are always worried about the imaginary clock ticking away on their window of opportunity, right? Their career and in their life. They're always worried about that. They're in a hurry. Parents often say, you know, if Bobby or Sarah doesn't make AAA or AA by minor Batum, she or he will never reach their dreams. There is an obsession over the OHL, the Western Hockey League, and the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League drafts. Their parents will say, you know what, Bobby doesn't get drafted. You know, he'll never reach his dreams. And when you're done playing, there is a pressure to hurry up, right? Wait, and be instantly successful in something else. The clock was ticking, and I was a slave to it. It was. There was nothing more really terrifying than the concept of the end, because the reality is that the clock, you know what? It's farce. It's bullshit. It's farce. Trust me, it is, because I needed to go back to the drawing board when my career came to an end. And at the age of 34, I started a 4 year journey through college and university, and I earned 2 degrees starting at the age of 34 years old. If you don't make AAA by minor Batum, you can still reach your dreams. You can. And if you don't get drafted to the OHL, Western Hockey League, or the Quebec Major Junior League, you can still reach your dreams. You can. If you don't get a great job within, let's say, a year after your playing career, you're normal. Don't rush. Most mistakes in life are made in a reckless rush. You probably don't decide, you know what, to make your lifelong dream to be a hockey player, you know, in the first moments of your life, and you shouldn't expect your next step to be any different.